Now that we have some experience reading an actual tire number, let's actually focus in on the probably the piece that's the most confusing, and that's the aspect ratio. All right, so remember, the aspect ratio is a ratio, a comparison of the sidewall height to the section width of the tire. So if you take a look down here at the bottom where I have highlighted, that's the sidewall height from like the top of the tire right to where it meets the rim. So what we're doing is we're taking that height and comparing it to how wide the section width of the tire. All right, so that's an example of a section width. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually figure out what that height is, that sidewall height is in inches. And the reason we want to get it in inches is because if you remember, the rim height or the height of the wheel is in inches. So we want to be able to calculate like from the top of the tire all the way to the bottom in inches. So we got a sample tire number right there. As you can see, it's for a light truck. And we're going to figure out how tall that tire would be from the top down to the bottom. All right. So to do that, what we need to do is multiply the section width times the aspect ratio. All right. Now keep in mind, that's going to give us the height in millimeters. We'll do a real quick calculation and change it to inches shortly after. So for this example, the width is 220 millimeters. All right. And we're going to multiply that times the aspect ratio. So we're going to do 220 times 70%. Now 70% as a decimal is 0.70. All right. So if we calculate that, we get we get 154 millimeters. All right. So that's how tall that sidewall of that tire would be, 154 millimeters. But we need it in inches. And the way that you go quickly from millimeters to inches is to always divide that number by 25.4. That's the conversion factor to take us from millimeters to inches. So we divide that by 25.4, and we get about 6.06 inches. So to put that in context so we can see what that means in terms of this tire, let's look at the one with the side profile. That means this part of the tire is 6.06 inches, but also this part at the bottom. All right, because the sidewall is just a distance from the edge of the tire to the rim. And since it's a circle, that happens twice. It'll happen at the top of the tire, it'll happen at the bottom of the tire. And if we need to know the entire height of the tire, all the way from top to bottom, well, we got the sidewall, but now we need to also throw in the rim height, which goes from here to here. And we get that from the tire number, which is 18. All right, so all together, if I wanted the actual height of the tire, let's do it this way. I'm going to need to add the top of the tire plus the middle of the tire plus the bottom of the tire. So the top of the tire is 6.06 inches, the middle of the tire is 18 inches, and the bottom of the tire is 6.06 inches. So if we add that all up, the entire height of the tire is 30.12 inches. All right. Now you're probably like, why would I even need to know that? Well, for one thing, it'll let you know approximately how high off the ground the tip of your tire is. But we would also need it if we wanted to calculate the distance in terms of how many times the tire would rotate. So you can know how far your car would actually move each time the tire turns completely. All right, and that's going to be the latter part. So that's where we're really going to plug this into formula and need to rely on some older formulas to get that information. All right, so let's pause here and then we'll get ready for section 3.